Welcome to That's the Angle.
Oh, wow, we were recording the whole time?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
keep it going. Welcome to That's the Angle. And I am joined here with the homie, also my studio partner here, where
That's
we
right.
are recording this YoReef. And as you saw in the title, Stylist for ASAP Ferg.
Maxo Kream.
And Maxo Kream.
That's right,
You
man.
may not know Maxo, but you definitely have heard of ASAP Ferg.
Yeah, for sure.
Do Walla, Chet, and Went Me.
Yep.
That was his first big song,
One of them.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, so how was that? So tell me about this. I was just kind of watching it through the stories.
Yeah.
It looked like a vibe. It was sick. Like it looked like you're on like a movie set.
Definitely. I've been on, a decent amount of sets in the last year. I think this was one of the, by far, a little bit more interesting.
Really?
Even like the layout of the treatment and stuff like that. We were out in Brooklyn, Greenpoint, in kind of like, it was probably like a old, like how we were in like a paper mill, like it was like one of those, and there was
Yeah, it
like,
looked industrial.
very industrial. It's probably at least 40 probably studios in there. So like everybody, like how we have ours, but like way bigger with like
Tall
12
ceilings.
foot, you know what I mean,
Oh
glass,
my God.
windows, and like it just had that real rugged look, brick, you know what I'm saying?
I'm so jealous right now.
But nah, it was super dope.
Yeah, everything in New York is just gonna be way cooler than we are. But yeah, it sounds like you were like, because the videos, Instagram stories, everything was like a super industrial
Yeah.
setting,
Grungy.
smoke, dope cars.
Yeah, that whole I don't know, that car was probably from like the 40s or the 50s with like the engine, out,
Was it crazy? Because it was the A$AP Ferg and Nightmare.
Nightmare, man.
Yeah.
Nightmare's a cool guy, bro. Nightmare is definitely a cool
Yeah,
guy, man.
was-
Shout out to Nightmare out there.
Yeah, it was definitely nuts. Just like watching that, because it seems so unreal that like someone I know is working with someone I see on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. Do you feel that when you're in that setting? Like, do you feel like, oh god, like this dude has got so much clout, or
Honestly, nah.
what's going through your mind, especially as like a stylist? It's kind of nuts to me.
I think just being around other stats and just like in my time growing up in Miami, even like being out here in DC at times when people see a Ghost or a Wraith, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that's a car, like, because I seen it like, growing up being on South Beach and stuff like that. So like being around these celebrities, I'm just kind of like, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, I'm not like in awe that you are who you are and
You're
stuff
not
like that.
Starstruck. You're not sitting there like,
Nah, man.
this guy knows A$AP Rocky. He's famous as shit.
Yep.
Millions of Instagram followers.
I don't know. I just zone all that out. I guess it's like when Jordan, is in the game in his fourth quarter, and it's just like, yo, I don't care about what I'm hearing noise wise from the crowd or nothing like that. It's just like, I'm here. I'm having fun. You know what I mean? We're joking, we're laughing, we're getting close.
Well, also at that point, it's like you're there to do a job. You're not there chilling. Like,
Yeah.
you're there to like style. And I guess if we were being specific, you weren't exactly styling A$AP Ferg from what you said. You were styling the everyone else
in the
video.
background. Yeah. So I had it was like 15 people I had this style.
Jesus, that's insane.
And they all, like, it was more like kind of like a gang, vibe. Think of like all leather jackets. Everybody's got it's kind of uniform, but it's not uniform. And then we had like Nightmare and Ferg's logos on the back, so just like it really gave it that like real feel.
Jackets
Like,
are hard.
yeah, man. Like the stuff I pulled and the stuff I found was just like, wow, this like really was just coming in to play the right way for me.
It was just like things were sort of aligning for you. Just
Yes.
That's so crazy, because I remember I was talking to you before you started polling, or like right as you were polling, and you were like, yeah, I got to style like 15 people in 4 days. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way this dude's gonna pull it off. But I know you, and you do pull it off.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's just crazy because of even when we did, Washington Life, like, that was 3 looks for 2 people. You know what I mean? So that's 6 looks altogether, right? And that was bigger than the 1 look that we started off with, or the 3 looks we started off with. Like, it just kind of like gradually just keeps getting higher and higher. So it's like that challenge is what helps me, excel and just like get to the next level. You know what I mean? Because I really preach a lot about being complacent. Like, it's easy to just style one outfit for one person, you know what I mean? There's no challenge in that, and then like there's no excitement in it either after a while, you know?
True.
So that definitely, at first I was like, 15 people, bro? Like, come on,
daunting,
like,
man.
But nah, man, it got done, man. It got done between here and Jersey. Like, I found everything I needed.
Wow. And so where'd you find these pieces?
Like, a lot of thrifts.
A lot of
thrifts. We went to Chinatown to get like the accessories. That was like harder to find in the thrift. But the jackets, like, I don't know, I probably went to like 10 to 15 stores to find this stuff. And like I said, technically between 3 states, even though DC's not really a state, but, you know, between Virginia, DC, and Jersey, and then of course Chinatown in New York to get the accessories.
Dang, dude, that's so crazy. Just pulling all together. But at the same time, it's like it might help that you have a vision of what is that how it goes. Do you have a vision going into the styling, or is it just you'll go and it'll start speaking to you, and eventually the vision makes itself? Especially for something that's so high profile, where you know, I think a lot of people would kind of be like, holy shit, like, you know.
I would definitely say, like, you start off with your mood board, you know, and then from there you'll go on and you'll find stuff, and you know, they shot me some stuff off of YouTube.
They had the inspo as well. I'm sure the director or whoever.
Exactly, like what he was kind of looking for, and then I just took that and then like had an image in my head that I then formulated, and I was like, all right, cool, like this is the stuff I'm looking for. I may find that, but I may not find it. So if I don't find it, let's see what else I find,
like a
that
plan B sort of thing or something
comes along with it that still works. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was my way, honestly, everybody would have had a long leather trench coat, but I only found like 3 of them. So you know what I mean? So the other ones had like bomber leather.
It's like it's improvised at that point.
Yep.
You know, it's like at that point you can't, especially the way you're picking. You know, it seems impossible to find that many unless you just randomly came across some like goth society who just dropped off 15 leather trench coats.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that's gonna happen there.
Yeah, and I mean that's the excitement part of styling through the thrift. I think that, you know, I go back and forth with certain people about like going into a store and styling and then going through a thrift. We don't know what's going to be on that rack at all.
That's the variable, I feel like, which is crazy, is, you know, you have this important job, yet, you know, you pull from racks that are random.
Very random.
Like just random racks, especially when you're going city to city, town to town. Like, it's just crazy, because that's a whole other layer of styling. Like, I feel like pulling from like a boutique is different.
Yeah, because like, you can get them like, okay, you guys got 5 of these. Can you contact the vendor and get 5 more? You know what I mean? But, you know, I think that's the exciting part of the whole situation that just keeps me going, because it's the unknowns. Like, I mean, they do say curiosity kills a cat, but
it's kind of fun. It's like opening a pack of Pokemon cards or something. You know?
Exactly. You don't know if you're gonna get the holographic one in there. Like, I remember that as a kid. Like,
you just don't know.
Yeah. So
scoot that mic back.
But yeah, man, you know, just trusting in the process and just letting things, you know, align. Like you said, it happens. You know, you just got to put the effort in.
How'd you get linked up with that? That seems like such a high profile gig. How'd you get linked up with styling for ASAP?
Honestly, I've done PA work, production assistant for those who don't know. So I've worked on other video shoots, which the director Show Me. My good friend Bobby produces for Show Me, so I've got, you know, the in with Bobby to, you know, whatever's coming through. Hey, let's get Reef on it to
just
style.
From like friends. So essentially just from working and having friends. It's how you
exactly. And, you know, I've been telling a lot of people that recently in the last week. I'm just like, the name of the game is being everywhere. This guy right here is like the example of that. The reason why Bruce is where he is because he's everywhere. He's shaking everybody's hand no matter what genre they're in. And that's organizing more for you to get more, you know, jobs and stuff like that. And for me, like, I'm trying to follow in your footsteps and do the same thing. You know, like, I want to go to Miami and get on some jobs down there, if they're commercials, whatever, as a PA, just to expand my network. So then it's just like, okay, I started out as a PA, and then next thing you know, the next commercial, hey, Reef, can you style it? Like, we heard you styled, so could you do it? So, yeah, man.
I mean, I think, that's just my philosophy to getting linked and getting gigs is just networking. That was something that I have always put a lot of effort into as far as, okay, if people just know me, if I can meet people and just leave a good impression, just be myself and be a nice guy, you're going to love or hate me, and maybe 90% of the time it's love, 10% hate, because maybe because some of you heard about what I said, which may not be factual. I did not call that model fat.
Right?
But yeah, no, it's something that I definitely believe in. It's just like showing up, being consistent, and letting people know what you're about. And that's something that I just think, if you're just trying to get anywhere, it's just a good sort of game plan, a goal. Especially as a creative, because it's about who you know. I realized that a long time ago.
It's all about who you know.
So if I can be if I can seem like I'm everywhere, that's good. But if I can just try and meet those right people, because we both could benefit off of that.
Yeah, I mean, we have. I mean, we haven't told my story, through, but
we're getting there. We're getting there.
And you're a major part in that, especially in the styling, story.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking about this interview. I'm thinking, what am I going to talk to him about? Because these are just conversations.
Yeah.
But I feel like, from one friend to another, I really feel like in this past, not even year, I would say this past like 6 months.
6 months.
Like you.
5-ish.
Yeah. You really just you put everything on 10. Like you just went full blast. It seemed like you were simmering, but now you're just like boiling. Like everything just went from like, I'm doing it to like, no, I'm really doing it. Like in 5-6 months, look who you're styling for.
Look what I've done.
Your business seems like it's been crazy. Yeah. And we can talk about Trezobeach and stuff later. It's mostly about you, but like I'm so proud of you, dude. Like I've seen so much growth personally.
Yeah.
Like you seem a lot more positive, a lot more happy.
Yeah.
But also just like creatively, because you've risen to so many occasions. What do you think, like, was there a switch that flipped? Like, what was it? Was it something internally or externally? Like, what was it that just sort of went boom, turned the lights on?
Honestly, you could call it a switch. I remember that phone call. I could tell you where I was when you called me.
Mm-hmm. So I had something to do with it.
Yes. I was on 95 passing Wegmans, and you called, and you're like, hey, I have these 2 girls, I'm going to shoot, would you style it? And it legitimately probably was like a 2-minute, like, time frame, but it felt like 30 minutes. And in my head, I was just like, yo, I style dudes. You've seen me style girls before, but it was more tomboyish, like, dude, do you realize, like, I style dudes and not girls? Like, I think I even told you that.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then that next minute in my head was like, all right, so are you going to take the challenge or you're not?
You got a choice at that point.
Like, that's just what it was. And then I also remember you telling me just, like, past months, it's like, bro, it's like, it's either you're going to do good or you're going to fail. Like, that's just what it is. And then I just was like, hey, what's up? I'll just do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, honestly, I was just throwing it out there. I was like, who do I know that has a lot of clothes and everything? And I wasn't expecting you to do what you did. Honestly, I was just expecting you to repurpose your guys' stuff into women's stuff. Cause I was like, in my mind, that's what I was thinking you were gonna do. I was like, oh, that's a good look, And half that was probably me just trying to convince you to do it because I wanted a stylist. But like, I didn't realize it was such a moment. I guess that's good. That like, I was like, yo, bro, it's like you either got to nut up or shut up.
Yep.
And like when you said, yeah, dude, I'm down. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, shoot, all right. Sweet. Let's do it. All right, let's get it. So I sent you the things.
Yeah.
What shoot was that?
The sunflower shoot.
Oh, when we went to the sunflower fields.
And it was pretty funky. Like, even the stuff that I pulled for that was quite funky, and I was legitimately in the women's section.
Yeah, that was a funny shoot. That was a funny shoot. We were literally out in this sunflower field that was past its bloom. Mosquitoes everywhere, just getting like raped by mosquitoes. Literally, mosquitoes so big it was going through our clothes. It was disgusting.
No, those things were like horseflies.
Yeah.
They were literally.
But we did it in like 45 minutes because we had to be quick. There's no wasting time.
Yeah.
And I thought that shoot was super sick.
The girls loved the stuff that I picked. You know what I mean? And to me, that was just like, I'm going in this like...
Was that a moment when you were like, when you got that little bit of validation? Like,
yeah.
I feel like sometimes you need that in your career to sort of confirm or, you know, make you feel better, like, because you've never styled women at that point.
At all. So I'm picking stuff that, you know what I mean, that I think is, you know what I mean, looking good, you know? And for them to be like, as soon as I came out the car and opened the garment bag, they were just like, oh, wow, like, I really like that. Like, I really like that. And I was just like, oh, wow, I definitely did an all right job here.
Yeah, you're thinking, oh, I'm not that bad then.
Yeah.
So it was that whole experience that essentially...
That was one part of it. The second part, honestly, was I remember being with my big bro in the garage, and just, you know, we have our, like, one-on-one conversations every, like, couple months, and I just was complaining. Like, I would just, like, I don't have this, that person's got this amount of followers, that person's got this money backing them, you know, that person has this clothes, like,
you make
all
excuses
that.
For why you don't have what you want.
And I just stopped talking. And I just looked at him and I said, I gotta work harder. That's it. I just have to work harder. And that's where the conversation just ended, and I left.
Like, so through you complaining, eventually reached a point where it hit you?
Yep.
Eventually you had that self-reflective moment of, it's all me. It has nothing to do with someone. I mean, I'm just speculating here. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's all me. That's sort of, no one's going to do it for me sort of thing.
Correct. Totally correct, man. Because I can't do anything about what so-and-so has or what all that. You know, the only thing I can really do is, you know, change things that are around me and change me. And I hate when people complain, and that's all I was doing to him at that moment. And I had to really check myself, you know. I think a lot of us don't do that. We'll just keep going and talking and talking and talking, and we're not listening to what we're saying, you know, because it's a lot of emotion that's coming out. Like, we're hurt because whatever it may be, you know, internally.
He's getting this gig. Why am I not getting this gig? I'm just as good as they are. How come I can't do it? Stuff like that.
But then you realize, like, okay, you changed that. That's the only person that can change it is you. And then when you start changing, everything else starts to align. Your friends start looking out for you. You know what I mean? The other associates that you may have shoot you certain things to do. Stuff like that. Like,
it's something, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Like, there's something to be said about essentially getting on your shit, having that hustle. People do notice it. And just by getting the whiff of that, people will put you on or look out for you because they know that you mean it.
Yep.
You know, like, it seems like you definitely have a crew of dudes who all believe in you too.
Yes, I do. I definitely shout out to them. Definitely the Trezobeach team. Like,
yeah, I think that's super impressive because it says a lot to be able to attract. I don't want to say followers, but people that believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty cool. That means that they at least believe in they believe in you.
They definitely believe in me.
They believe in you. So there's almost a pressure to not let them down in a sense. I don't know if you ever felt that pressure to even say that if you never thought about that. But
no, I mean, I definitely do at times, you know, especially when, like, even with Bobby, like, Maxo Kream.
Who's Bobby?
Bobby's my homeboy that produces for Show Me. That's how I get onto the music video gigs.
So he's like your connect into New York?
Yes, pretty much.
Bobby's your connect into New York.
And when he called me for that Maxo Kream gig, he called me on a Monday at like 2:00. I'm in Quantico. And he's like, hey, we need you to bring up these clothes. And you got to style for Maxo Kream. And I'm just like,
whoa.
All right. And he's like, yeah, so 9:00 in Harlem. And I'm just
the next day?
Yeah. So
and for reference, we're in Virginia.
Yeah.
That's in New York. 9
and I still got to come to the studio in DC to pull the clothes.
Yeah, which is the opposite direction.
Well, I mean, it's going up towards New York, technically, but still, like, you know, you still got to make that, you know,
and you still got to
make that stop, and I still got to come in here and pull. But that was that challenge, you know, and I've really seen that challenges is what I really need in my life. It
seems like, really, the challenges, like, is it rising to the challenge? Is that what it is? Like, the goal of meeting the challenge? Did you learn that that's what kind of drives you?
It definitely drives me. I would definitely say that's 100%. And I don't know. It's like for me to put myself in certain challenges works, but like you said, letting somebody else down. So if you give me the challenge, it's like it's got more pressure. You know, it's just like, yo, don't care about whatever's going on in your life. Like you got to do this thing with Bruce. Like
yeah, I mean, yeah, because if you agree to something as any person, you should always be a man of your word.
Yep.
Like there is no I couldn't do it. It's if you agree to it, you know you should do it. And then if it doesn't work the day of, then it's like, well, okay, whatever. But it's like you have to put your whole in. You can't just go to ASAP like, well, I wanted 15 trench coats, but couldn't find them, so sorry, I can't do the gig. It's like, no, you better figure that shit out.
Yep.
And I think that's a part of the journey as someone who's trying to build their creativeness, or as a creative, as a stylist, photographer, artist, whatever you are. It's not giving up on things or making it work. But you know, going back to what you're saying about those two moments, you know, it's such a short amount of time, and you know, I'm starting to feel like this podcast is somewhat of an early platform for people that I believe in, and for people that I think are going to be killing it in the next foreseen future.
Yes, sir.
You know, people right now may not know who YoReef is. You know, they may know you from the clickbait of how, which is true, which is great. Shout out you. But you know, they don't know what you're going to be doing in 5 years. And like the photographers that I've talked to, the stylists, you know, I think it's going to be people that are killing the game in, you know, a matter of time. Whether it's everyone's on their own timeline, but
everybody is. You have to know that.
Yeah, it's just cool to, you know. Sure, we work together, but we're not always around each other. Sometimes we're working, sometimes we're doing this and that. But so, you know, only these past 6 months, it seems so much longer. So you had that switch where you said, okay, I can style dudes. There's more to this. It's all on me. And how has that been changing? Like what you've been doing the past 5 or 6 months? Is it just seeking new opportunities? Is it just is your daily life different? Like what is
definitely opens my mind to understand that life isn't a box. There's a lot outside the box. Because, you know, one thing of just styling urban, you know, but like my friend Tom would say, a lot of menswear guys can't dress down, and a lot of cats that dress down can't dress up, you know? And knowing that, I want to be versatile in everything. I want you to be able to say, hey, I can call Reef, you know, to go style a gala, or I can call Reef to go style, you know, a rapper for his show.
Do you feel pigeonholed by me or anyone saying vintage stylist?
I
mean, that isn't. I don't know if that really.
It's just a term, you know. You know me for Trezobeach, which is a vintage store, right? But you know, I'm not that. You know, I'm greater than that. You know, I have capabilities to do anything. You just have to put a term on me when you tell people about me.
I think it's for anyone.
Exactly. So I don't take offense to it, you know, but I'll explain to people, like, there's more to my life than just that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, vintage is a way better word than saying secondhand stylist, right. You know. I mean, because vintage is cool, but essentially that's what it is. You know?
Exactly.
But that is a unique spin on it. It's, you know, like we said, you could just go to department store and style. That's cool. You got connects, but actually getting in there, getting trenches is a whole different thing. So, I mean, besides like the epic growth this past 5 or 6 months, which 5 or 6 months, which is dope. You know, feels like you've really been killing it. And sometimes I feel like you're starting to outpace me, so I'm like, it makes me want to work harder too.
That's dope, because I mean, likewise. Likewise.
But were you always, you know, we've only been friends for a few years, but we've become pretty close in the past 5 or 6 months.
Right.
Were you always a stylish dude? Were you always like, did you know when you were like 19 that you wanted to get into fashion? Like what was Reef, you know,
at 19?
Yeah, like were you always stylish? I mean, not 19, I'm just saying, like, were you always like a stylish dude? Like what's up with
honestly, man, I really think I got my style from DC. Like being around DC. At, like you say, 19, at 19 I think I wanted to be a DJ.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I had the techniques, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be a DJ because all my friends, or all the people that I looked up to in high school, they were all DJs. You know, all the cats who had the fly sneakers, they were DJs. Like, I wanted to be a DJ. And then, you know, then the rapping thing came around. And,
you tried rapping?
Yeah, I tried rapping for a little bit. That was cool, but, you know, it wasn't me. I wasn't putting in the full effort for it. Did the photography thing, did videography. Like, I've touched, like,
a lot of things.
I tried to model at one point, you know? And then at 25, I stopped. I moved away from Fredericksburg. I had a clothing line at that time, too.
Not Trezobeach.
Not Trezobeach, Karma Life. And, like, I was trying to find myself. And, you know, I went to go, like, to Trinidad. I went to Toronto, like, just hanging with family, just, like, trying to understand, like, where I came from and, like, where I'm supposed to be. And clothes just kept coming around.
So there's always this common thread.
Yep.
Lol. Of
no point intended.
Yeah, of clothes. And because what I picked up on the nuance of what you said was the DJs had cool kicks.
Yep. It was always
modeling is styling. Like you were always somewhat maybe
around it,
picking it up subconsciously.
No, definitely. Because like I said, I had a T-shirt line, so like I was always around it, but didn't understand that was like the nucleus. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other stuff was just like extra shit around. You know.
Do you feel like those experiences make you better at what you do now, or do you wish you would have just discovered styling? 'Cause I don't know if styling is your ultimate goal. It doesn't have to be, but do you think that that led you to here, or what?
Definitely. You know, I come around younger people and always be like, well, damn, I wish I was like you. Like, you knew, you know, you're on your path. Like, you know what you're doing. But me dabbling on these different things, I think also helps me in communication with all those different types of people in those genres. And then also know what I'm, like, looking for. You know, like, being a photographer, knowing what shots I can do. Being a model, you know, you've taken a couple photos of me, you know, where you're not really like, hey, Reef, can you put your hand here? Can you do that? Like,
I never put
I'm
together.
just like...
You do your poses pretty well. I think about it. I'm like, yeah.
So, you know, like, that did definitely mold me. And like you said, everybody's path is different. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone's timeline's different too, because
everybody's timeline
you're a
is
little
definitely...
older. You're a little older. You're like, you just hit 30.
Yep.
I don't want to call it out, but like you're just 30.
It's cool.
Congrats, by the way. Just
appreciate
like a birthday party here.
Both of us just had a birthday, man.
Well, it makes me feel. It makes me feel better because a lot of the cats I interview are 23, 24. I'm like, God, I wish I was as driven as you were when I was your age. Like, but there's no timeline. There is no proper schedule to discovering what it is you like.
Yeah, there was no book that, you know what I mean, was here for you and somebody handed it to you.
Even if there was, it still can't help you. You have to. I'm a firm believer.
Experiences.
Yeah, and you have to try things. You have to experience things. And if you don't like it, at least you tasted it and you move on.
Yep.
I think that's how you find yourself. Some people, you know, they'll hit me up, and it'll probably start happening to you where they say, "Man, I love seeing what you're doing.
Yeah,
it seems like this is your purpose. Like, how did you find it?" And I always tell her, I said, "Dude, I've tried and failed at a lot of shit.
It's the truth.
Like that's what my kid described it is. I've tried a lot of shit.
Yeah."
I know it tastes good, I know it tastes bad.
You were a DJ at one point.
Yeah, even I was DJing. I mean, I went to school for music, and so when I was going to school for music, I fell in love with EDM at this time. Mm-hmm. And me and my friend Jay Woo, or his name was Woosh, his DJ name. And my DJ name was Positron.
Okay.
We would DJ house parties in college, and we would just play EDM and, you know, mix in rap so people would bear with it and stuff like that. And we would just try and throw these banger parties, and that's how I ended up doing that. But when it came to the actual DJ life, I actually didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of going to a bar and just DJing. I really hated it. I was honestly scared of it too.
Wow.
Like I just hated it. And so it got to a point where the whole music shop was just like, I don't think this is me anymore. But, you know, that's my story on that one. But yeah. DJing. It's like you're trying things. You're probably gonna try becoming a DJ at some point.
Probably. I mean, look at all these people. I mean, your major rappers are DJs now. You know what I mean?
Shaquille O'Neal's a DJ. Paris Hilton's a DJ.
You see, everybody's, you know, is a part of that, and I think it's just for them to show you their taste. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the same thing with fashion. Like, you get to look at somebody and, like, you know, maybe get to know them through their clothes. You know, I don't think a lot of people, like, really pay attention to that, but it's just like, oh, you wear that, okay, you must be into that. You know, that's why you might wear a band tee, and somebody might walk up to you and be like, oh, you like that band, and that person's just like, well, I don't like the band, but like I really like the shirt.
Like the culture or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that your clothes aren't a reflection of who you are. They legit are.
They are.
How else do you present yourself? How else? That's how you visually judge someone.
Before you can open your mouth, they have to look at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You said that before, even with the whole dating thing that we were talking about earlier. Like,
yeah, it's all visual.
You can go get set up with the hottest girl, but if you don't have the look, she's already gonna look at you like, so why am I here again? You know?
Facts. I mean, maybe you got a fat stack of money, which may make it better.
But she doesn't know about that.
Yeah, but she don't know about that. She just knows that you look like a dweeb, and she ain't into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially when you meet people who don't act how they dress. That's always interesting. But I feel like for the most part, I meet a lot of people that are it's pretty accurate.
Nah, for the most part it is.
It's pretty accurate. So you're from Florida.
Yeah.
And you born and raised there, and then you came to Virginia. Like, what's the whole timeline on that?
Born and raised in Miami. Till when I was 18, straight out of high school, moved up to Virginia. Shell shock for me because I was in Fredericksburg.
Yeah, that's like suburbia. It's even a little past
country.
Suburbia. Yeah, that's country
to me.
Miami, yeah, that seems like the boonies if you're from Miami.
Yeah, so like just seeing like the closed-mindedness of the people there. I'm coming from Miami where just like we got Spanish people, we got Caribbean people, and then all of us are mutts at the end of the day. Like we're all mixed up with a whole bunch of other stuff. So definitely I was always open to, the new things, but being in Fredericksburg, like people aren't really like, they weren't really super open.
Yeah, you moved into suburbia. Everyone thinks the same. Everyone has a 9-to-5 job. It's not Miami where it's like club promoter, model, actress. It's pretty generic.
Very generic. Very generic.
And so
work for the government, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's all government employees essentially at that point. And so when did you move? When did you make that move from Florida to here?
So like when I was 18, so straight out of high school, like 2 days.
Was that your choice or?
Technically my choice, like, like in my household at 18, like you leave, I'm one of 3. Everybody went to college. Mom and dad went to college. I went to college and dropped out, so like I'm already, different than everybody else.
Oh wow, you went to college and dropped out?
Yeah.
That's nice. I didn't know that. Where'd you go and what were you doing studying?
I just went to like community college and was doing I call it Gen Ed, but business administration.
That's kind of it's like
to me it was Gen Ed.
It's like when someone says communication.
Yeah, it's like just Gen Ed. But I was always like I said in that time I was always dabbling in some type of arts. The one thing I wish I had that one person that was just like, yo, I see this in you, like, you should move in this direction. I didn't have that guidance, you know what I mean? So I try to give that guidance to the younger people when I come across them, especially if I see something in them.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be super nice to have that person who sees something in you, but maybe, I mean, no offense, maybe it wasn't to be seen then.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it's why it doesn't happen, but at the same time, maybe you just weren't around those people. Who knows? That's crazy that I didn't know that you actually attended and dropped out. So what did you do? Like that must have been kind of nuts. Your family, like you're 18, moved away, college ain't working out for you. What are you thinking at this point? I imagine it's not, let me start a vintage styling company.
Nah, it was, honestly, at that time, it was just taking in, I mean, the internet's like not new, but it's active. Blogs are heavy.
Not like MySpace.
Yeah, so you're like really watching a lot of blogs.
Tumblr is huge.
Super huge. So you're taking in a lot of content at that time. And all I was on was sneakers. Sneakers and t-shirts.
Were you on the Dunks?
I was on Dunks heavy. SBs heavy.
If you weren't on the SBs, like that was the first sneaker culture I've ever seen, at least in my lifetime, was the Dunk SB sneakers.
Definitely. I mean, the first one was Air Force Ones.
Oh yeah.
That was definitely by far because they had the most like different colorways and different like collabos type stuff. But so I'm just taking in all that stuff. So I'm just trying. That's all I want to be around. You know what I mean? Like the stuff you like is what you want to be around. So we used to go up to DC once in a while and go to Major and go to boutiques. We used to go down to Richmond and go to boutiques. Because at that time, like you want to be fly the best way you can. You know,
fly on a budget.
Yep. But it was just a lot of, like, I'm coming from Miami, so it's just like t-shirts, jeans, and sneakers. Like, that's all I ever really knew. Like, I didn't have any, like, to me, that's not style. You know what I mean? That was just me, like, I guess, you know, expressing myself. I think, honestly, after that, we started going to the club heavy up here, and that's the time when you had to, like, dress up to get into the club.
I mean, even still today, if you have sneakers or have jeans on, you still can't get into a lot of nightclubs.
Things have changed a lot in DC, man.
True.
They have definitely changed a lot. Like, we never used to walk into the club without, like, Sunday's best, basically, is what we used to call it. Like, we didn't go to church, but that was our church.
Yeah.
So, like, we would go out to, like, Macy's and, like, pick up, like, a new dress shirt, a different color dress shirt, a different pattern.
Wow.
And then go and find a tie at Marshall's or whatever. And then that's how I got into, like, pocket squares and bow ties. And it was just, like, that's where I got to now start to learn that I'm really, really expressing myself. Like, Tom will tell you, like, hey, Reef might have on, like, just a simple thing, but his tie's going to pop or his pocket square's going to pop.
Who's Tom?
Tom's my best friend. That's who I run Trezobeach with.
Okay. I gotta ask these questions like I don't know.
Right.
Because we know something.
Yeah, some people don't know. Yeah. Thomas the Great is what his Instagram is. But that's, I think, subconsciously, it was coming out. You know, it was starting to show itself. But I still, consciously, was not paying attention to that. It was just, hey, I'm living life. I'm having fun. You know what I mean? And this is how I'm dressing. Like, that's just what it was. I didn't see it being such a magnificent, you know, cloud.
It was just something that you did that
Yep.
you're probably okay at or good at. And it just helped you in your life. It wasn't anything big. I mean,
Nope.
Even then, I mean, this was almost pre-Instagram culture where you can see Stylist now. Like, I didn't even know Stylist existed when I was younger. Like, I didn't think that was even a thing.
I think I might have heard about it, like, in that time frame when I was, like, the dress-up time frame. And I was just kind of like, you get paid to do what? Like, all right, cool, like, sure.
Yeah, okay.
But then you, like, now I'm in, and it's just like, wow, this is, like, a need. It's not even like a want. It's like, it's a need.
It's a need to what?
It's a need for people. Like, you know, they want to look good. People want to be presentable.
I think so even now, I think we're in such a visual age.
Super visual age.
It's all visual
Super.
age.
Like, you know, this is, I remember the photographers in the club. Like, I used to always be like, oh, these guys are the man. Like, you know, they get to come to the club and just take pictures of people. Like, people love pictures. They're trying to put them on their Instagram or their Facebook. No, like, now people are, like, booking you from the club. You might have took their picture at the club, but, like, oh, can you take pictures from me outside of here so I can get some photos for Instagram?
I mean, that's what it is. People want Instagram photos or Tinder photos or whatever it is they want.
Whatever. So they want to look good, too, so they need the stylist, you know what I mean, put the clothes for them,
Yeah,
you know?
I do you feel, and some part of me feels like a stylist for the everyday person, it just doesn't seem obtainable, or it doesn't seem like a normal part of life. It seems like a luxury sort of thing.
It does. I mean, but think about it, how it was presented years ago. The only people that had stylists were people like celebrities or
True.
rich people. You know what I mean? Those are the people who had it. Even, let's talk about personal training. Like, people who had a personal trainer, like, they were only people who had money, where now you can go to a boot camp for $20 and the personal trainer's right there, you know? He might, like, it might not be super one-on-one, but at least you can talk to the person, you know? But in this day and age, I mean, I know there's probably there are apps out there, I haven't come across them yet, but I know there's stuff on the internet where you could probably get a stylist for...
I would say that it's just the Instagram in general. People could just look at style and be like, oh, like, and draw influences from that. Style influencers, look at them.
No, definitely.
So at this point, you were going to the clubs, you're dressing yourself, sweet tees and pocket squares.
Yep.
Then what happens? Because you're in DC at this, you're in DC area.
I'm in a DC area, so that was like life. Like, it was just, at that point, the lifestyle was, I'm trying to be the guy who pops bottles. You know what I mean?
You want to be stunned in the club.
And you want to stun in the club, and then, you know, that got boring. You know, you're in the club every week or every other week, however, you know, amount of time, and you start seeing the same people all the time.
Same shit.
And then you're just like, yo, it was like a drug. That's how I like to describe it. The
Really?
first time you take a hit, it's amazing.
Really? Because every time I go to the club, I feel like a loser.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, now, I mean, I go to events, but I don't go to, like, the club. If I have to go to a club, I just feel broke. I'm like, can't afford the bottle service.
Nah, that's where you messed up at. That's where you messed up.
Is that what it is?
Not so much saying you have to get the bottle service, but I used to come up with, like, no less than 5 people. I'm walking in with no, 1 or 2 people.
So you've got, like, a squad going into the club.
We used to come up, like, honestly, one time I had, like, 25 people come with me.
You might as well come up
to the park.
At that point. Jesus.
And I said, like, I kept coming downstairs to get people to, like, hey, they're at my table, let them in. This lady's like, you got too many people, we can't. And I'm just kind of like, yo, you should be paying me right now. Like, I'm a promoter, like, yo, we're going to keep drinking when these bottles stop, when they're empty. We're going to buy another one, or we're going to hit your bar, like, don't worry, you're still going to make money off us, but you're just looking at the $20 to get in, But it was always about bringing people together. That's always was my thing.
Yeah, that seems like a skill of yours. Like, you're good at, like, bringing or attracting people to you.
Yeah. And I don't know, because I want people to talk. I want people to have fun. Like, life is here to have fun. It's to be happy. It's not to be miserable. And I think in that time frame, when I went to the clubs and I had those people around me, like, that's more what was drawing me in, even though it's like consciously I was thinking it's because I was popping bottles, but
so what was so fun about it? What was the addicting factor?
We had our own party in a party.
That's true. I mean, I guess if all your friends are at the club, how can you not have fun?
It didn't matter what was around us. Like, it didn't matter that you just popped the Ace of Spades bottle. Like, I'm good. Like, all of us are having fun. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You're doing this. You were doing it for stunting. You know what I mean? And that's when I saw the difference, with having fun and not having fun.
So what happened? One day,
I just stopped.
You just went there and you just like had that, like, empty look, like, why am I doing this? Or, like, it hit you again. That's
like,
maybe,
what am I here for? Like, you know what I mean?
What is the point of this?
Yeah, maybe. Especially because, like, at that time, we weren't coming as deep. You know what I mean? So, and it seemed like a job.
Oh, like you were that guy or something else.
It just seemed like,
job.
yo,
like you owed it to. Oh yeah, I see.
Like, what am I, like, what am I doing here? I stopped doing that, and then.
Were you running that Karma Life company you were talking about?
At that time I was, so, like, I was still, like, there talking to people about it, but I don't think the fire wasn't there for me.
It was just something that you were just doing. But not
to be
doing.
Cool. I was still, honestly, but I was still trying to be the cool kid.
I mean, it does say cool to say. It does feel cool to say. Yeah, I run
that, and I'm popping bottles.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean.
That's a good look.
But that's dead. It was like I was a zombie. Honestly, like
working the party,
and then showing what, to show off to other people.
Sure.
And that's when I stopped, and like I said, I moved away from Fredericksburg, so I was, like, solo that time, and then it was just like I had to look myself in the face and figure out, like, yo, what's gonna make you happy, man?
Is that where you live now after you moved to Fredericksburg?
Yeah, so I moved to Woodbridge, and all my friends that I was close to, like, we all, like, separated, and I was just
happens over time.
Happens, growth. It's growth.
Yeah, everyone grows up, grows out, grows away.
Yup. And that's when I went through the whole traveling stage of just going to go see family around the world and, trying to figure out who I was, like, what my culture was, and, like, what I brought to the table.
What is your culture, by the way?
My mom is from Belize. My dad is from Trinidad. My dad's side, there's Chinese, African, and Indian from India. And then on my mom's side is European and Mayan.
Yeah, because I can't tell looking at you. If I was just to guess, I'd be like, yeah, you're mixed, like white, black. But I'm so far off every time I get that.
Like, my ancestors was with the get downs. That's how I describe it. They were with, like, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Cool. All right, cool. You with it? Let's get it.
What culture did you grow up in? Like, I always
West Indian culture. Like, straight Caribbean, because Belize is in Central America, which most people don't know, which is right under Mexico, but it was colonized by the English, so all the islands were English, so they associate with that. So just a lot of dance hall, a lot of soca music, Carnival was, you know, very big in my household. Ever since I was a little kid, like I went to Carnival. So colors, like so subconsciously, it was always around me. Creativity was always around me because, like, if you look at Carnival, it's costumes. People are putting stuff together for people to wear.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of colors. Like going back to like me going to the club, like that's how I got to express myself was through colors, like
costume.
the popping.
It's
you
still
know,
a costume at the end of the day.
It's still a costume.
It's still considered a costume. What we're wearing is costume.
So, you kind of just look at that, like look at your childhood, like that will tell a lot of your stories.
Yeah, I find that a lot too. That your childhood really impacts yourself going into the future.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of signs you may not recognize, but that have a lot of telltale going into the future.
No.
Like, for me, I grew up doing photography. Didn't know I'd be doing it now, but that definitely impacted me now. Like, it's nuts. Whether or not, you know, you do that then or recognize it then. I wish either of us, when we were young, would have been like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. That seems great. I wish I had the insight or the foresight. But
as a kid, I wanted to be a stockbroker.
That's random as fuck.
I wanted to be a stockbroker.
Those kids would not say stockbroker.
It was just something about Wall Street that, like, I used to love going to New York. My brother went to NYU, and I just always wanted to go to Wall Street. Like, I always, like, that was what I wanted to be.
I want to trade stocks. What do you want to do? I want to trade stocks.
I want to trade stocks. But I then also remember as a kid, like, going to Marshall's every Saturday. Going shopping every Saturday with my mother. Like, so...
You think she had a big impact on clothes with you?
Definitely.
Was she stylish?
The funny thing is, I just came back from home and going through those albums, like, I was like, damn, I had some style back in the day. Like, I was a character, like, in all my photos, like, I'm making some weird face or whatever, but it was a lot of colors, you know what I mean? A lot of color blocking. Because, I mean, this is, like, the 90s. Slouch socks, like, but it was just colors. Like, it was just colors coming off.
I don't know about your 90s, but my 90s was Echo jean shorts, Echo oversized shirts.
I had a lot of Tommy. My mother, definitely a lot of Nautica. It was definitely Tommy and Nautica.
Yeah, I guess that was a big brand too.
I didn't have the Echo. I was never a fan of Echo.
Oh, bro, I was a diehard Echo fan, man.
Like,
fuck.
I think everybody messed it up for me. Like, I would see people wear it, and I would just like, I don't want no parts of it.
It was like so cool that I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it because too many people had it. And that's another thing now I see as I'm older. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. But even then, like, I didn't, like, FUBU was big. I think I had one or two pieces of FUBU, and, like, not even, like, it was, like, some sneakers and, like, maybe some shorts. Like, it wasn't, like, the whole, like, two-piece, you know what I mean, situation. I remember when Rockaware was big. Oh, yeah, I had a seersucker two-piece, like, shorts and button-up top. Like, the people who were wearing Rockaware were not wearing that. They weren't wearing seersucker. They're wearing, you know what I mean?
Wait, what's seersucker?
Seersucker is, like they wear it a lot during the summertime. You know, you'll see, like, the pants. It's kind of like, it's got a lot of texture to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. They call them, like, picnic pants, kind of. They're not that pattern of, like, a picnic table, but, like, a lot of people wear them, like, to the beach.
So, like a pair of pants that had, like, the Rockaware logo all over them.
I definitely didn't have those.
No, but that'd be seersucker?
But, no. Seersucker... One day I'll take you out and I'll show you exactly what it is.
I don't know, fuck seersucker.
But that's what everybody was wearing, the stuff with Rockaware all the way. And I had Rockaware on, but it was not that Rockaware. You know what I mean? It was more like on a simple tip. So I realized, like, now that I always just wanted to be, like, in the crowd, but I didn't, like, want to be all the way in it. I wanted to be like, hey, I'm still YoReef. You know what I mean? Like, that's who I am. Like, you guys are all the same person.
So... I mean, I'm just going on the timeline here. You're here, club gets boring.
That's like 25.
When did you start Trezobeach? Because I feel like that's what led us to meeting and what led you to where you are now. I feel like that's definitely a catalyst.
Trezo, at like 27, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about 27. So after, like, you know, doing the traveling and stuff, my boy, Dre, down in Miami, he kind of like entered back into my life and kind of changed some stuff diet wise and all that for me, and like was like, you know, clearing my mind and opening up.
Is he the one who made you vegan?
That's the one who made me vegan.
Fuck
yeah,
that guy.
Amon Best is his name, man, and yeah. He used to be like, yeah, you know, we're going out all the time, but I ain't got enough money to like go to like pay for a new outfit all the time. I'm going to the thrift, and I'm gonna be the flyest cat because ain't nobody got the stuff I got on, you know.
So he opened that door.
He opened the door, like, and I just started going to thrift, and it was like I was finding stuff for me, but that was just like, yo, this is hot. It's not my size, but it's hot. I gotta grab it. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, and I just started going like I'd go start from the small to the extra large, like. Just
finding cool shit.
Finding cool stuff. And then I had like, my room was just racked out. Started getting like, you know, the bags started, you know, piling up. And then I went and got racks. And, you know, friends would come over and, you know, oh, damn, you got a lot of clothes, man. Like, we always knew you had like clothes, but damn, you got a lot. And I'm just like, you know, like, I'm just like collecting stuff.
What was it just, were you collecting? Did you have no idea that... Was it just a passion? You were collecting clothes? What was it at that point? That seemed like a random thing to do, is to buy more than you actually need. It's kind of like a...
That's when I realized I just really love clothes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, round 2 was around at that time too, so like you also were like trying to find stuff that you could take down there to like, you know, resell back to them. But it was just kind of like, I just love clothes, man. Like, I can't let this stay here. Like, it has to come home with me. Like, I'm sorry.
and so Trezobeach was born.
And then Trezobeach was born. So Trezo is Creole for treasure. And
what's beach Creole for?
I don't know. It's beach. But like the goal was to come back to Miami and go to Little Haiti and like open it up in Little Haiti. So that's how the whole Trezo came around for Treasure Beach.
So you initially, the game plan was to go back to Florida, open up a shop that would just sell vintage?
Yep.
Dang. So how'd that not happen?
I just kept building here, and it's like something about like, you start something, you gotta finish it.
What do you mean?
Like, I started here, and I want to finish at least one chapter here, and then move on to bringing it back home.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to bring something back to Florida. I mean, that would mean you're mildly, or at least successful in whatever that thing was.
Correct.
To be able to bring it to another market or replicate it or whatever it was.
Exactly.
So, but so Trezo wasn't always what it was now. Wasn't it just its own branding at first? And this is just me recalling my memory. Was it always like the thrift sort of boutique, or did it just start with making logos and putting it on tees?
No, it was thrifting first.
So it was always that too.
It was thrifting first. You know, I was trying to stay away from going back to becoming a clothing line, because that's what everybody associates when they see a logo and clothes. They always think it's a clothing line.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I did, you know, a couple pieces, but it was like more for promo. Like, it wasn't like I'm trying to sell these T-shirts.
Yeah, you might as well. You're in the clothes game. I'll just make a couple of name on it. Right?
And, you know, give them out. And then, like, I made like a couple other pieces, you know, as merch. Because, like, I just, you know, you're around clothes. Like, this is me going to school. I'm seeing how they did it in the 80s, the 90s. Like, I like this cut. I like how they did this graphic. I like how bold it was here. Like, and then that's like, you know, shaped me to being able to say, like, okay, on this Trezobeach merch, I want it to look this certain way, or I want this certain thing on it, you know?
I never thought about that. It's like the nuances of you going through thrifts and stuff. Yep. Maybe that's why your eye is good, because you know, like, a good cut, or you know a good collar, or a good, whatever it might be. Stuff that I just completely miss. But it's the same way if I was looking at a photo. I could look at I could tell the lighting, I could tell the angle, I could probably tell the lens, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
No, yeah. I mean,
those nuances of being...
in your craft.
Having expertise at your craft. It's like, those are the nuances that most people don't notice, or just go over someone's head at first.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So
the funny part is, in that time frame too, I was doing outfit grids.
What does that mean? Oh, sorry.
So, like, lay flats.
What does outfit grids have to do with that? Like, I'm just confused.
You remember how you're just like, was this around? It's always been around. At that time, I wasn't thinking I was a stylist. I was just doing outfit grids because...
when you started Trezobeach.
Yeah, before Trezobeach really, like, got to Trezobeach, I was doing outfit grids. Like, I would go to shops, like, go to Marshall's, go in the mall, pick stuff, and put outfits together. And just put them on, like, that was what was on my Instagram.
That's so crazy. Some crazy foreshadowing, huh?
Like, and I was just like, I was doing it, you know what I mean? And I remember my big bro being like, you got to find a way to make money off this. And I was like, dude, I don't know how to. I'm just doing this just to do it. So, like, it's always lingering around. Always lingering around.
The signs were there. The writing wasn't the same, but it was just a matter of time of just like realizing it, getting motivation, and you said that little bit of awakening.
That's it. I mean, some of us see it. Some of us can understand, just like the kids who, you know, they want to be a doctor and they go all the way to being a doctor, right? Some of us need somebody to yoke them up.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just straight up. Like, for me to be a stylist, you know, we didn't tell them, but I was forced into it. Really. You know, you were just like, hey, come do this. You know what I mean? Like, you going to take the challenge, you're not going to take the challenge.
And all those experiences came together.
And
it's like a movie, and they all came together, and he styled some dope outfits.
Yep.
Well, I wouldn't say they're all dope, but, you know, two of them were really strong. I don't want to blow your head up too hard, but two of them were really
definitely.
Really
but so, even, like, Farmar played a factor in that, too, because I wanted to give up on styling after one time.
Before that, we were...
we did one for Farmar. Yeah, I styled it.
Yeah, you were styling with Farmar is a local rapper, who's pretty talented character as well.
Yeah, very.
Super cool guy. But yeah, I remember you would style the shoots for him, and me and him would just go walk around and do photo shoots and stuff together. Mm-hmm. Wait, did you say you almost gave up on everything?
Yeah, in that time frame before you had asked me to do the sunflower shoot, I had did a couple with Farmar, and I remember being there with Bobby and Bobby being like, nah, this and that, and I was like threw my hands up. I was like, you do it. Like, I'm done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, whatever. Boom. And then you came around and you brought it back around. And then Farmar was just like, I'm not giving up on you, bro. There's no no's. Like, you have to do this. Like, I'm going to be in your face. You know, you're just going to do this. And thanks to you guys.
Hey, man, no problem.
I'm here.
But the influence, you know, I do what I can. But no, since then, Trezobeach has just, as a business, gone crazy. I mean, even the collabs you've done. I mean, I really loved the Chris Cardi collab.
That was dope.
So that was actual designing, in my opinion, which I thought was cool, which just makes a lot of logical sense for me looking at what you're doing. Is like, okay, anyone could print brands or print their logo on a T-shirt, which is great. You should probably do that if you have a company. I'm just guessing. Like, that seems great. I want to do it for myself. But you're designing, which seems like the next step after styling, or maybe like a parallel styling. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's...
How was that? Because that was the first time you designed, you know?
Yeah, that was the first time I did anything cut and sew, period. And shout out to Chris Cardi. Another Florida boy, Miami boy.
You kind of look related now, I think.
Yeah, we definitely look related. We definitely do.
He's got the curly mustache, but you just have the beard.
I got the curly hair.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But now that was dope. Like, we just came together and, you know, I picked up a couple pieces out of Trezobeach and actually even thrifted a couple. We sat down and I was like, hey, let's alter this. Like let's move this here, or let's add this. You know? So it was like us coming together to create something new.
Yeah, collabs are dope like that. But the pieces were sick. The pieces were super sick. Going to the pop-up and seeing it, I was super impressed. I was just like, whoa, like, man, this man could design too. And the pieces that you thrifted for them, like, as like the canvas, it didn't seem like that. It just seemed like they were new. They were in great quality. It was pretty insane. I was like, whoa, this is nuts. Yeah,
I was super excited for that, you know. That was one of the times where I wasn't really worried about the pop-up. You know, you get the jitters before something or whatever.
For an event, yeah.
I really didn't. I knew we did something cool, and whoever got to come and see it would, you know, be able to enjoy it. And that's all I'm really about right now, man. Definitely. It's just all about enjoying what's in front of you, you know, what's being presented to you, and then what's also in the room at that same time.
Being present?
Yep. All the people that are around there, you know, everybody brings energy to a building, and being able to share that in a joyful way, like, that will make somebody's day, you know, especially if they had a bad one, you know, like, you can change someone's whole narrative.
You think? you think the clothes? That's kind of an interesting thought. I don't know why I just thought about that, but giving or providing people clothes, whether it's through selling or not, does that? Do you ever think about that as like a good thing, or is it just like, oh, I made, or it's just a sale? But like, it's interesting to think that you're impacting the way someone's gonna look every day.
Yep.
By that piece.
Yeah, I don't look at it as like money.
It's nice though, but
it is and it isn't. I mean, if you really know me, you know I hate money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really despise money because of the feeling that comes with it. Just being able to see somebody smile, to hear somebody tell a story, if it's something from the past or even something in the future, like, you know, maybe you'll come across somebody that you might even know that I styled, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I got this from, you know, Trezobeach, and you're just like, what? Like, that's my studio mate. Like, yeah, what? That's crazy.
That's there's a sense of nostalgia. Like, even the few studio parties we have where people are here going through the racks, you guys can see there's like there's a freaking vintage boutique to my right.
Yeah.
The reactions that people get looking at this stuff, because it's not new clothes, you know, which is a whole different ballgame. They might see a Stone Cold Steve Austin or Nickelodeon or a monster truck or some random niche thing, and they just go, "Whoa, like, this is sick!" It brings them back, like
to that time.
That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, so what are you trying to do now? I mean, you're styling for dope rappers. Mm-hmm. Your Trezobeach seems to be, you know, doing really well, killing stuff like that. What's the plan now? Like, how do you plan to move into 2019 if that is on your mind? As a stylist, as a brand,
as a brand,
yeah. However you want to approach it, I'm just curious.
I definitely want to get more work. You know, I think all of us want to, because I just want to meet new people. Honestly, I want the challenges to, you know, keep, you know, going up the ladder. You know, hopefully in 2019, maybe I'll do a short film.
Whoa, that's random.
Not me, like, style a short film.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
not actual, like, you know, put together a short film. That maybe it might happen, you know what I mean?
But you're going to Basel pretty soon.
Yeah, right? We're going to Basel.
You think that's gonna be a huge come up, because it's so weird. All of a sudden, like, I'm not going to Basel because my ass just isn't going to Basel. But
I think you should.
Right. But I've been seeing so many stories where someone sees an artist and they're like, you should go to Basel, as if Basel is some lift-off point. Like, it's some magical networking creative destination where you're going to, where your dreams are going to come true and you're going to make
it happen?
Yeah, like, is that the incentive of Basel? Like, what?
Well, you know, Basel's at home, so
it's
home.
True. So that's cool, I guess.
But the way I describe Basel to people who don't know what Basel is, South by Southwest. It's South by Southwest for an artist. And it could be a visual artist, could even be a musical artist. You know, it could be someone who makes clothes, someone who makes jewelry. It's a conference. That's what it really is. It's bringing thousands of people into one area to, you know, take part in the same thing.
Which
you know,
is
art.
Art at the center.
Yep, art is the center. So, you know, going to Basel, I'm really just trying to go and meet new people, like I said, you know, and see where that can take, build relationships. I did Basel last year. I worked with Chris Pirate on a warehouse, and this year I was kind of like, I want to enjoy it this time. Like, I want to be able to get out more, because I was kind of like in the warehouse all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I remember talking to you last year. That's so crazy. Yeah, I remember we talked about it a little bit at my last studio partner Earl's pop-up, and you came back from Basel, and you did not seem like you were in a happy place.
No, actually, like, at that time, I really wasn't. I don't know what it really was, honestly. I guess I wasn't, you know, getting to be to my full capability. I think that really might have been the main thing, whereas, like, right now, I feel like I'm there. You know, not to say like I'm there, like all the way there, but it's just like I'm on the path. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
What is there for you? It just now, not, I don't expect it to be the same there in like a freaking week, but what in your mind right now, like, what is there for you? Like, what is there going to be a moment where
at this moment,
like,
or
at
this moment,
what would be that there? because in that there always gets pushed back. You know, as soon as you get that, like it happens. But I'm like, I get things.
My emails coming through, and it's just like style gig after style gig after style gig. Mm-hmm. You know, like every day I have like, you know, five people to style or 5 things I need to shoot to people. You know what I mean? I think that would be my just like busy, right now there. Yeah. My like there. I said a short film. I like to style a movie.
That's a level. That's crazy.
That's the. I'm there.
I mean, you're styling a movie. That's a check.
It's a check, but I mean,
and a lot of work. That's crazy. I never thought about
that. That's not 15 outfits, buddy.
Yeah, that's one scene could be like 30 outfits. I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, you probably won't be thrift shopping at that point.
Nah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I would have a little bit of everything. I'd be able to go thrift, and I'd be able to have, you know, maybe pull from certain fashion houses.
That'd be dope. Hope I'm shooting for those fashion houses. And I'd be like, yeah, I got this guy who wants to pull some clothes. Sure, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think there for me as a photographer is shooting for a fashion house or shooting for big brands or whatever it is. But for stylists, I always just sort of wonder, in my mind, what it would be. Because for me, I didn't expect you to say film or anything like that. I thought you were going to be like, styling for ASAP or styling for this or being a personal shopper. I think but it's different
cool.
For everyone.
You know what I mean? Like,
that
you
shit
know,
is cool. Yeah, that's true.
And you're doing it, you know, you get to build a relationship with somebody. You get to really know that person. I'm not trying to take away from that at all, but I just, for like a movie to me is so grand. You
Why
know?
a movie? That seems random to me.
Because visually, I feel like that's the peak of visuals. Is a movie, in my opinion. Like, you got, like, you know, Instagram, to me, is, like, it's on the amateur style. Like, now this is, like I'm talking about, a movie that could be a blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about how many more eyes that may not have Instagram that are going to be at the movie theater watching this movie. You know?
Film to me also seems interesting because it seems a lot of costume design as well. Like it's not just like
it's just not pulling,
It's what's the movie, what's the genre, is it futuristic, is it in the past, is it in the 70s? It's, I guess you kind of have those parameters, so you style within that, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It's a whole other challenge. That's...
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds dope. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dang. I mean, I think I've covered a lot of what I wanted to cover today. It was like your come up, cool shit you've been doing. The year's not even over yet, which is nuts. Still have a whole nother month.
Yeah, we still have one more month. If you are in the DC area, every third Friday, we have our open house here.
Oh yeah, have we started planning for that?
Nah, we haven't. We got to definitely get that going.
I definitely want my name on that flyer this time. I couldn't do it last time because of the exhibition. But
yeah, how was that?
It was tight as shit.
It looked great from visuals that I got to see.
I can't believe that 70 people paid $20 to come out, which was nuts because as an artist, it was reassuring to know that people would spend their pocket money
for art,
especially $20 just to go look at some art and get some free drinks and food as well. So that was actually pretty reassuring. So for my next one, I'm definitely gonna charge not $20 though. Fuck that.
Yeah. So that's super dope.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's super dope.
It was super
sick.
It's
like a gallery setting, and it's like photos that you took.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything sold, like any big expensive pieces.
But you got eyes on it.
That's
in
true.
Person.
That's true. But I do want that art sale. I feel like that's such a validating factor.
Yeah, and I think it's
someone to spend like $1,000 on a piece of work, which merits that much money, but just for someone to be like, oh, you know, I feel like that's that validation.
I think the other validation is when you walk in that person's house and it's on the wall.
Yeah. Oh God, that's a dream. You know, that'd be super super sick. That'd be so sick. So real quick before we end, I want to talk about just vintage, because if anyone knows vintage, it's you. What is your thoughts on the state of vintage right now? Is it a fad? Is it gonna die out? You know, what's coming next? Like, I'm just curious. Like, is it a fad? Is it here to stay? What is your opinion on it? Have you thought about that?
What? Before I got into Trezobeach, I thought about that.
Okay.
Like, I remember, you know, like we said, I had all this clothes and I was collecting all this clothes, and I was thinking like, yo, I could sell this stuff, but then that's like biting around too. Like, you know, I don't like. I've always said I wanted to be different, you know, and then I also thought I was just like, but round two is like it's like they're rising, like they're like getting pretty close to the mountaintop, and I'm like, is there gonna be a bust? You know, like, do I come in the game now? Like, is it worth coming into the game now? Because it's just like, how much? What's the life expectancy at that time? You know, of vintage. And one of my favorite movies or documentaries is Exit Out the Gift Shop, about Banksy and Mr. Brainwash.
It's great. It's a great movie.
And most people might not know if you know who Mr. Brainwash is, but he sold vintage, and that's back in like.
He did? I didn't pick up on that nuance.
Early 90s, I want to say. Yep.
Really?
Yep. He started off selling vintage. He'd get barrels of clothes and resell them in LA.
Wow.
And then I started thinking, I'm like, that was, what, like 20, 30 years ago? And it's here, it's still here. And people in LA buy vintage, and they weren't wearing vintage because it was a fad. They were wearing vintage because they really like what it was. And it's a niche.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a hashtag.
Huh? It wasn't a hashtag, yeah. It wasn't a hashtag, yeah. And now I'm just kind of like, nah, vintage isn't going anywhere.
That's so funny. That's something so granular, but yeah, it's like that reassuring thing that it's been around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will stay around.
It'll
go into the future, because I guess the fashion kind of recycles itself.
No, it definitely goes around in cycles, but you gotta think about it now. Vintage can't go anywhere because people are going to keep pulling from vintage ideas. And that's what's going to be the new, is whatever they pulled from the 70s, or they pulled from the 80s, or what they pulled from the 90s. Like, so there's no way for it to like really go out of style.
Well, now people are going to start pulling from the early 2000s.
Yep.
You know, it's like the next wave.
Yep. So, and if you don't know anything 16 years from the date is considered vintage.
That's nuts. So 16 years after something's made or anything, it's vintage.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. Who came up with that?
I don't even know. I read that somewhere. Yeah. But it's crazy though. Because I mean, I guess it's like past a decade, so it's like, you know what I mean? And they probably don't want to push it to 2 decades, so it's like in the middle, I think. I don't know. That's my justification for it.
Dang, so vintage is here to stay. Because there's so many styles of vintage. There's men's streetwear, there's dress vintage, there's designer vintage, there's, I don't know how
bags,
vintage bags, vintage accessories. It's something that like something about nostalgia or something about
nostalgia appreciation. A lot of people don't appreciate the now, but they'll appreciate the back then because it's gone.
Is vintage just for poor people?
Definitely not.
I'm kind of trolling with that one.
Definitely not. You know, I mean, vintage, they might say it's vintage only for the rich people. Because, you know what I mean, some of the hottest pieces that you want to get, you can't even afford.
That's true.
You know, because they're just that rare. Like, that's what puts the marking of the price, is how rare it is to obtain the thing.
Yeah, that's definitely something interesting, because just today I noticed you got a new piece, and it's like a Guess girls jean jacket. Mm-hmm. And you're selling this for $70, but I was like, I guess that does make a lot of sense. This thing probably went for like $150 or something.
Yep.
You're selling it for $70, but the thing is, people don't realize that you went and found it.
Yep.
You know, and then you did all this work behind it. It's not just
find it. Sometimes, you know, you pay for it as well. You know, I paid a little bit more for that one. But it was just like, it's a Guess jean jacket, and the quality in which the jean jacket is.
It looks new as shit.
Like, come on, you know what I mean?
It's got the cursive on the breast. It's everything.
Does that not look like a Vlone
I can't see it.
Jacket?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know Vlone. I don't keep up on that stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's what I was. It looks like.
It looks like that modern.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So, I feel like we're getting close to the end here, but going forward, I think things are going to be super crazy for you. I don't know when.
It's coming.
But I feel like it's coming. I feel like Trezobeach is coming. That's like more of a team, but it sounds like you. I don't know. I feel like things are just bubbling for everyone.
It definitely is.
But you in specific, it's nuts. Things will just keep happening. But is there anything that you would say to someone who's trying to get into the vintage game? Maybe even they do the same thing close to you. Like, is there anything you have? Anything any like ideas, suggestions for someone who's into styling or into the vintage game? Like, what would you tell that person?
Do your research first of all. You know, definitely go on the internet. That's what we have it there for. Get to see, you know, what was hot in the different eras. So you know when you're going out, you know what I mean, what to look for besides, you know, if you're just into t-shirts and you just like t-shirts, you know what I mean. Keeping your mind open, you know, to all the opportunities. Not saying you have to take every opportunity, but just be open to them to see what you can gain from it. Because there might be that small thing that is there, but you don't see it at first. But if you relook at it, it's just like, oh, I could gain, you know, if it's a connect with that one person, like, you know, and that person could probably take me, you know, here. And keep at it. Like, don't stop. Keep your feet moving. And keep meeting new people. Like, that's going to be what takes you to the next level. The more people you meet, the more you get to learn, the more they'll reach out to tell their friends about what you're doing, and that just grows your brand even bigger.
Dope.
Yeah.
Sick. I realized that we did not talk about anything related to photography this whole time, but stylists are essential to photography. So there's that. Yeah. That's that angle on
hand in hand.
I think
hand
so too.
in hand. You know, you don't really see a lot of those duos out though.
What?
Of photo and stylist. I don't know any like prominent photo and stylist duos.
Are we a duo?
Could be. I think we definitely can be. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we've been doing some killer shit. So in a sense, we kind of have been doing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We've been double teaming shit.
Definitely.
Eiffel Towering projects.
I mean, even like the spread we did. You know what I mean? That was
we got
us
published.
Collaborating.
That was sick. We got published
together. On it. You know what I mean? You're like, yo, I got this. I know I want to shoot it. What's your theme? It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Normally you kind of like used to give the theme, and then it was like my turn to say like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do this, this, and this. And you're like, all right, I got a location. Now I got to figure out where to place what you want to do in the location.
Yeah, I just kind of said, you know, it was really interesting, that gig. The whole the editorial at the Eaton Hotel, like that super trendy hotel, it was definitely like my biggest editorial shoot to date. Yep. And there's a lot of pressure on it, and I was like, blah blah blah. We were talking, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna grab a stylist and everything, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, like, do I really want to work with a different stylist who I've never worked with? It didn't make sense in my mind to give the opportunity to someone else who I don't fucking know. And what was scary about that was because I didn't know if you could do it. Like, in my mind, show yourself ahead of that was dope. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, he's done that on some show shoots. But in my mind, I'm like, this is a big deal for me. Can YoReef do it? And so eventually I just threw it at you, and he did. So that was sick, man. I appreciate that. That was dope.
No, I mean, I would think that too. You know, because you're on the hot seat. You're like, whoever I bring in this area has to show up.
Yeah.
So that means one side of you was just like, oh my gosh. The other side was like, this the man I need to get to do it.
The only person I even knew at that point to do, so I had no choice.
Yeah.
But well, sweet, man. It was cool having a podcast. Can't wait to see what unfolds for you going into December in this new year.
Oh yeah, man. It's I definitely think it's gonna be a nice year. Yeah, I think it's going to be able to just get like you, where I do this full time, you know, and I'll get to travel. I think that's one of the only other things I really want to integrate that.
You project that a lot. So it's stuff like that happens when you project like you're a traveling stylist, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll check back in a few months, see where it's at.
Sweet deal with me, man.
You know, it'd be cool. What I really want to do is have like a podcast where a couple people get around the table and we just like talk and shit. But I don't have enough microphones for that, so I can't really do that.
We can make it happen.
I only got 2 mics.
Yeah, you just got to get the right mic.
All right, so if anyone wants to follow you on Instagram, you as a person or your company, Trezobeach, just spell it out for them because if someone's driving in the car and they want to get on their Instagram and just peep you out, just go ahead and spell out the @ or something for them.
So me personally, YoReef, YoReef. Mainly Instagram. That's where you pretty much gonna catch me. I seem like I like to talk a lot, but I'm not really on Twitter that heavy. And for the brand, Trezobeach, Trezobeach. You're looking for that, one of a kind T-shirt. We got it. Those jerseys, jackets when it's cold outside. We even got some sneakers in here. So,
Word.
Come check us out. We're in Tacoma Park.
Yeah. It's not a brick and mortar shop. It's a private studio.
Yeah.
And you can make an appointment and things like that.
Exactly. It's something special.
It's pretty cool.
It's something special.
Word. Well, please look him up. I'll link all that in the description or the bio. Thanks for listening, guys. That's it. That's the angle. Peace.